What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the Loot Box Hero. Check out the second channel because the second channel is popping, aka the real Super Mario here, bringing you another video. All right, so I was trying to come up with another, Legends ZA video. Some more like scripted content. Like I was trying to do another Mega Evolution video. And I was thinking, like, you know what? What is the best starter Pokemon? Like, have we ever really sat down and realized, like, what is the best starter Pokemon? And I'm like, you know what? Sounds like something that needs a tier list. So, of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/RSMario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet, and I will shout you out at this portion of the video. All right, so So I've got 5 tiers. I've got the Empoleon tier, which basically, peak starter Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get much more peak than Empoleon, Then I've got the good tier, which is okay, they're pretty good. I is completely acceptable, but not special. Box resident, basically meaning like this is a Pokemon that you get as a starter Pokemon, but I mean, you give or take. You can leave them in the box and get something else or whatever. That they're probably going to be a box resident, And then, of course, you've got the infamous Dookie Butter tier, which is self-explanatory. That Pokemon is Dookie Butter butt cheeks. Terrible. All right, so we're going to roll right on into this. So we've got all the starters here. The Megas are here because they were just part of the template. So it is what it is. So let's see. Let's check this out. So we got. Of course, we got Bulbasaur OG. All right, Bulbasaur is good. Bulbasaur is good. Bulbasaur was my first Pokemon ever. The Bulbasaur line has been one of my favorite lines ever. I think they are good Pokemon. Almost Empoleon tier, but they are good Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Bulbasaur will always have a place in my heart. Ivysaur is right there too. Ivysaur is awesome. I think Ivysaur is one of the best middle evolutions. In as far as the starter evolutions go, he's one of the best middle evolutions. I think he's very underappreciated. And then of course Venusaur is goated. Come on now, Venusaur is freaking goated, bro. Venusaur is a dinosaur with a flower on its back. How can you not say that Venusaur is goated? Okay. And then of course Mega Venusaur is also kind of goated too. You know what I'm saying? Charmander, Char. So everybody's favorite, Charmander. So Charmander is pretty good. All right, you know what I'm saying? Charmander is pretty good. The one thing that got me connected with Charmander was the anime. All right, Charmander's story in the anime is freaking peak Pokemon storytelling, man. And that's what really got me connected to Charmander. All right, because I mean, I've never been the biggest fire Pokemon fan outside of like Arcanine, but Charizard is pretty good. Charmander's pretty cool. Charmeleon is the first inductee into the I tier. All right, I understand logically why Charmander would go to Charmeleon. Charmeleon has never been my favorite middle evolution. All right, Charmeleon it's just like a bigger Charizard. It's a bigger Charmander with skinny arms. You know what I'm saying? This is like, it's like Charmander when he goes through his like adolescent like awkward phase. Everybody has that awkward phase in their life. Some people still live in that awkward phase well into their 30s. But we all have that awkward phase. That's Charmeleon for Charmander. And then it evolves into Charizard, which Charizard is good. All right. The reason why I put Charizard as good and not goated is because one, Charizard gets everything. Okay. All right. Charizard is the favorite child of Game Freak. Not to mention, as far as competitively goes, Charizard has been pretty bad and competitive for a long time. Like all the way up until like, what I'm saying, like recently when you had items that could prevent you from taking half your HP from Stealth Rock. You know what I'm saying? Up until now, like, he's been pretty bad. Then, of course, Mega Charizard, goated. Alright, color scheme, goated. Typing, goated. Alright, straight up goated. One of the best Megas, period. I'm not even a Charizard fan. And then the other Mega is just bigger Charizard. That's basically what it is. Squirtle. Alright, Squirtle is another one. Another OG. You know what I'm saying? Squirtle is alright. You know, Squirtle is alright. I don't got nothing against Squirtle. Again, another character I got connected to because of the anime. Since, you know, I was introduced to Pokemon from the TV show and not the video game. So, you know, I've always been connected to Squirtle. He's not been my favorite starter, you know, but Squirtle is pretty cool. Now, Wartortle, though. Wartortle. Okay. Is peak freaking starter material. Alright, Wartortle is probably one of the coolest, most unexpected starter designs I've ever seen. I remember when I did another playthrough as a kid. My first playthrough, I used Bulbasaur. My second one, I used Squirtle. And I remember when I first saw Wartortle, I was like, what is this? Like, is he gonna fly? Like, can he fly? He has a squirrel tail and wings on his head. Like, I remember as a kid seeing Wartortle and being like, this was the coolest Pokemon ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, the design is completely unexpected. And then he evolves into a big turtle, which is Blastoise. And Blastoise is alright. Blastoise is fine. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with Blastoise. It's alright, you know. Same thing with Mega Blastoise, which is, you know, it's a big turtle with big gun. You know, it's kind of like the logical next step for Blastoise, which is why, you know, it's alright, you know. Speaking of alright, we got Chikorita. Alright, you know what I'm saying? It's alright, you know, it's not the best, you know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people like Chikorita because of the show. And I've heard people say that if you didn't like Chikorita, that you were racist. Which is like, oh, wow, that escalated quickly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like Chikorita, I'll just say you don't like Mexicans. I'm like, what does that got to do with anything? Like, that's crazy. Same thing with Bayleaf. Bayleaf is alright. I think Bayleaf is a little bit better than Chikorita, though. I think it's like, when it comes to logical evolutions, I think Chikorita to Bayleaf is pretty good. And then we have the first inductee into the Dookie Butter tier. Yeah, you knew this was coming. Meganium, Dookie Butter. Dookie Butter Booty Cheeks Pokemon, bro. I remember my first playthrough of Gold and Silver. I think I had Pokemon Silver. And the first playthrough I did was with Meganium. And I was like, bro, I went through all that to get to this. Meganium is Dookie Butter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Because, like, this is why I'm really hoping that Legends ZA, that Chikorita is one of the starters. So that way Meganium could get a redo. I think Meganium deserves a do-over, okay? Cyndaquil. Okay, so Cyndaquil is alright. I don't have no qualms. No qualms with Cyndaquil. Same thing with Quilava. Not bad. And Typhlosion. Also not bad. You know what I'm saying? Just logical evolution of that Pokemon. They're not great. They're not bad. You know what I'm saying? Just alright. You know, which basically defines probably most of the Generation 2 starters. It's just being alright, you know. You know what I'm saying? Typhlosion has never been like the best Pokemon competitively. You know what I'm saying? And then came this guy. Hisuian Typhlosion is peak, bro. Everything from the design, the color scheme, how he works in competitive, his typing, peak. Awesome. Alright, freaking awesome design. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of the things I'm probably the most hyped for in Legends ZA is that, you know, So some other starters get a chance to get a remake like Hisuian Typhlosion did. All right, because Hisuian Typhlosion put Typhlosion on the map. I'm just being honest, you know. And then we got Totodile. So Totodile is pretty good. I like Totodile. I like Totodile's energy. I like Totodile's design. Like the red, blue, and white is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Croconaw is alright. You know, it's just like fat Totodile. You know what I'm saying? But then we got the boy though. We got the boy. Feraligatr, bro. You don't know how much I have wanted a water fighting Pokemon until I got Feraligatr. I was like, bro, Feraligatr deserves to be water fighting, man. Give that man a mega, a daggone regional form or something. Alright, like making all of the Gen 2 starters just like, you know, base water, fire, grass type, I think was probably the biggest mistake. I think that's why these were seen as like one of the worst starter trios. I don't think they're the worst, but they are the most bland because they don't really do as much. Trico. Alright, so the Trico line. This is where it gets tricky. Alright, because Trico, I think, is definitely an I Pokemon. Let me see. I think I will put Trico above Chikorita. Alright, you know what? Let me fix this. Let me put these guys above. I think these guys are above Chikorita. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're definitely above. Alright, you know. Crocodile too. They're all above Chikorita at the moment. But yeah, Trico is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I think in the show he was kind of eh. You know what I'm saying? But as a Pokemon though, it's pretty cool. His design is cool. But then he gets even better though. Grovyle. Grovyle I think is awesome. I honestly, again, another mid-level evolution where I was like, oh, is he going to turn into a flying type? Are we going to get grass flying starter? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be, you know, is that what we're going to get? No. We got Sceptile. And Sceptile is okay. Alright, it's alright. You know what I'm saying? You know, the big Christmas tree tail lizard is fine. You know what I'm saying? But then though, you know what I'm saying? You know, Gen 6 came around and that boy got a mega. And that boy became peak. Alright, not only did his design get better, alright, they hooked this Christmas tree up, they gave him some lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, his design got better, and they made him, I think he's part dragon type. He's grass dragon, which I think is freaking sick. I thought he should have been grass dragon regardless. I never understand why these dinosaur Pokemon aren't made into dragons. I mean, because dragons and dinosaurs are like cousins. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. The dinosaurs are just the boring cousins of dragons. Alright, so this is what things get interesting, because Torchic, box tier resident. I was not a big fan of Torchic in the beginning. Alright, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, Torchic is just you know what I'm saying? His design is kind of cool, but you know, it's just kind of, you know, he was one of the more boring base starters, right? But Combuskin was alright. Alright, Combuskin was okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, definitely better than Chikorita, you know what I'm saying? Let me fix that. You know. Alright, and then we have Blaziken. Blaziken is good. Alright, Blaziken was pretty good. I think Blaziken was the first Pokemon I had in Generation 3. I think my first playthrough was with Torchic, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think, because I know my favorite one was the Mudkip line. Alright, but I think the first time I played through that, because I usually go with the grass first, but I think I switched it up this time because I wasn't the biggest fan of Trico from the show. And then, of course, Mega Blaziken is freaking busted in all aspects. Design, competitive, everything. Mega Blaziken is just awesome, you know what I'm saying? And then we have Mudkip. The Mudkip line is probably my favorite line of starters, right behind the Bulbasaur line. Alright. You know what I'm saying? Mudkip The middle evolution is alright. It's kind of goofy looking. I put him down here. The middle evolution, like Mudkip was cool. The middle evolution was kind of goofy, and then we had Swampert. Peak. Alright, Peak. Swampert is one of the coolest Pokemon designs. Alright, again, color scheme, the orange, black, blue, awesome. Alright. The look, like he's a big mudfish with like hands. His move pool was awesome. The only problem is he was like quad weak to grass, which means you would get smoked. And Sceptile is faster than you because Mudkip is not the fastest Pokemon. I mean, Swampert is not the fastest Pokemon, so yeah, you might get burnt. You might get burnt by them grass types, but Mudkip is still peak. Peak Pokemon starter evolution design. Mega Mudkip was okay. All right, he wasn't one of the best megas. Like it was just big Mudkip, which big Swampert, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that they could have did more. Like the glow up that Blaziken and Sceptile got didn't really go over to Swampert, which was kind of disappointing. So then we got Gen 4, my favorite gen. Well, my second favorite gen after Generation 3. And we have Turtwig. I had to remember his name. That's how I haven't even thought about that Pokemon in so many years. Turtwig was alright. Same thing with Grottle. Grottle was okay. You know what I'm saying? But Torterra though. Torterra was pretty good. Alright, another grass type that's quad weak to a different type, specifically ice. But Torterra was pretty good though. Alright, I'll say good times in generation 4 with Torterra. So many good and bad times. You know what I'm saying? With Pokemon Revolution with my Torterra team. You know what I'm saying? Well, Torterra was pretty good. I think its design being the turtle with the tree on his back, kind of like an island turtle almost, I think was pretty cool. Hopefully, maybe one day he'll get like a second chance, or maybe he'll get a mega of some sort, and maybe we'll get to see something cool. Maybe make him like a water grass type, make him an island turtle for real. That'll be kind of lit. All right, Chimchar. We all know what's happening here. All right, we all know what's going down. The Chimchar line all together is peak. All right. Oh Lord, I can't get up there. Hold a second. There we go. The entire Chimchar line is peak, bro. Alright. I'm just saying. Fire Monkey, peak. Okay. Alright. All of them. And Chimchar is awesome. Not just from a design perspective. He was awesome in the show as a character. He was awesome in the game. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, like freaking Infernape was probably one of the best starters like ever from a competitive standpoint. Alright, definitely the best starter of his trio from a competitive standpoint in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a mixed physical special sweeper. You know what I'm saying? Firefighting is probably one of the best type combos. That's why they did it so many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, freaking Infernape is awesome. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying? Again, Generation 4 with 2 lines of peak Pokemon design. Alright, the Empoleon line is one of my favorite Pokemon lines, period. Alright, not just one of my favorite starter lines, one of my favorite Pokemon lines, period. Okay, Empoleon is freaking peak. That's why he has a tier that bears his name. Okay, because he is the definition of peak. Okay, alright. Like he is the measuring stick of peak. Alright. Everybody else has to measure up to him. That's why they called him Empoleon. They knew when they created him. When they drew him on the paper, they said this is peak. He is the emperor of all starter Pokemon. Period. If you don't like it, you can fight me. I'll fight you in the street. And you know what they say about life? You know what I'm saying? Life has peaks and valleys. And yeah, we are most definitely in the valley now. So, Snivy is, to be honest, this line is kind of box residents, bro. I'm just gonna be honest. At least until recently, all right, because you didn't get the moody ability until a little bit later, after you went through like the dream world and all that kind of stuff. Because this Gen 5 introduced hidden abilities. So once you got was it moody or was it? I can't think of the name of his ability, but once you got that ability, like that's what made Sir Viper good. But just on its own, it's a box resident. Like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he's another one I hope might be able to get a remix in Legends ZA. You know what I'm saying? But they're all kind of box residents at the moment. All right, so I think I've told this story 1,000 times on this channel. But the story of freaking Tepig, man. Tepig is a good starter. I love Tepig. The idea of a fire pig Pokemon, I think is great. All right. And they took that idea, this beloved idea, they took it and they pooped on it. Okay. Because I don't even remember the Middle Evolution's name, but it is Dookie Butter. Dookie Butter, Booty Cheeks Pokemon. Okay. Inboard, right there. Dookie Butter, Booty Cheeks Pokemon. No, I'm sorry. The king of Booty Cheeks Pokemon. Straight up terrible. Alright, the first disappointment I had in my Pokemon training career was Tepig. Okay. He was the first starter I played with in Generation 5. I remember I got because the game leaked, and I got a ROM, and I got a barely translated patch to put on it, and I was playing the game early, and I picked Tepig, and I was playing through it. I could barely read the stuff because it was in Japanese, and some of it was translated just enough so you can get through. And I evolved this thing into this fat man, and I was just like, what is this, dog? What's going on, bro? Like, I thought it was going to be some cool, like, boar. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they called him Imbor. Like, oh, yeah. Man, this barrel-chested bastard right here. Get out of here, bro. All right, so we still in the valley. You know what I'm saying? Because Oshawott is definitely, well, nah, this thing look goofy, man. That face is always gonna be goofy to me, man. Oshawott's always gonna be. Look at it. Look at the way he's looking. Look at the way he's standing with his arms out. This man look like Joe Biden. He is like the Joe Biden of Pokemon, cuz he even doing the Joe Biden stance. Like, where am I? What's happening? When we defeat Medicare, we that's that is Oshawott right there, bro. But then, like, probably one of the best middle evolutions outside of War Turtle. Like, that thing is freaking clean. Like, when Oshawott evolved into him, I was like, bro, that thing is clean. Okay, yeah, we doing good now. We doing good. And then he evolves into whatever Samurott was supposed to be. They say, oh, our Samurott is a rotting samurai. Like, for one, he's not rotting. You could at least made this nigga ghost type or something, because, like, he died. He's not rotting. He's just like a seal with a horn and, like, armor. Like, he's a seal that plays hockey or something. Like, I don't know what it is, man. I was so confused when I got Samurott. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, hey, he looks kind of cool. Like, mustache is I guess. I was confused, bro, as a kid. And then they tried to help him. They made him pretty good in Legends Arceus, but it's still Samurott. Like, a better color scheme, better typing, but it's still Samurott though. All right, so we go from the valley to the kind of midness of Generation 6. Now, Generation 6 starters weren't that bad, all right, but they were just kind of mid, all right? Like, they're kind of in that same space as, like, Generation 2. Some of them were kind of bad, but they were mostly mid. Like, Chespin was all right. I kind of like Chespin, I like Chespin's design. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember how competitively viable the Chespin line was, because it's been so long since I thought about Gen 6 competitive. You know what I'm saying? But Chespin was alright. I thought this thing was kind of cute, but it was just like, I don't even remember the name of it. And then of course, Chestnut was pretty good. Chestnut was pretty good. So I think I only used it like one time. But it was pretty good. As far as in a playthrough, that is. Um, Grass fighting is not the best type combo. I mean, as far as like defense, 4x weak to flying moves, and this is in a post Brave Bird Pokemon. Like, nah, bro, this man getting smacked in the head with Brave Birds. He did have some defensive abilities though. I'm trying to remember. Did he have like Spiky Shield? I believe was his ability. So Finnegan was awesome. Everybody liked Finnegan. Finnegan was like, because there's always that one base starter that everybody likes, and Finnegan was the one for Generation 6. Okay, Finnegan was the one. All right, I think as far as it was Finnegan, Chespin, and I think Froakie was like at the bottom. Froakie was like okay, until he evolved though. Then Finnegan evolved into a furry. And then of course, I can't even remember the Final Evolution's name. So if I can't remember the Final Evolution's name, that sucker was Dookie Butter. All right, not as bad as not what, but no, he's king of Dookie Butter. Yeah, this is why I'm gonna do it. The more Dookie Butter it is, the higher it is. So that's what we're gonna do it on this list. So this thing was definitely less Dookie Butter than Emborn, but totally Dookie Butter. All right, two back-to-back L's for fire starters. All right, I guess they couldn't really compete. They couldn't really make better fire starters after they made Infernape. So Froakie was Froakie was You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the biggest Froakie fan. I was Team Chespin when Generation 6 came out. But then it evolved though. And that junk got cool. I was like, okay, what I'm saying? He kind of cool, All right. And then, what I'm saying? We got Peak again with Greninja. Greninja's up there. All right, Greninja's up there. Let me arrange this list a little bit. Hold on. Let me put Greninja is definitely up there. All right, as far as like peak starter evolutions and peak starter Pokemon, Greninja's up there. But this is the first time that an alternate form of a really good evolution, Dookie Butter. I did not like a daggone Ash Greninja. Nope, I did not like it. I don't like when Pokemon blurs the lines between Pokemon and Digimon, and fusing with your Pokemon is most definitely some Digimon stuff. All right, I watched Digimon season 4. Okay, I'm probably one of the 10 Digimon fans that like Digimon season 4. Okay, but guess what? I don't want none of it in my Pokemon. Okay, I'm just being honest. Okay, I don't. And Battle Bond freaking Ash Greninja is the definition of getting Digimon in my Pokemon. Dookie Butter. Alright, so Generation 7. Alright, arguably the best thing about this cursed generation. And yes, I will continue to crap on Generation 7 until the day I die. The best thing about this generation was the starters. The starters were pretty good, alright? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll admit, like, Rowlet was alright. Rowlet was alright. But the evolutions were good, though. This thing and daggone, Decidueye is pretty cool. Alright? I mean, Decidueye was one of those Pokemon that kind of grew on me. Because at first I was like, a bird archer? Like, what is the reference here? Like, this region is in Hawaii. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? But he grew on me over time. And then, of course, Legends Arceus came, and they gave that boy a makeover. Like, he wasn't an archer no more. He wasn't throwing arrows. He was throwing hands. And I was like, okay, boom, pretty good. Pretty good. Good design. Good typing. Firefighting again. Not bad. No, he wasn't. Sorry. He was grass fighting. My bad. The color scheme threw me off. But his color scheme and design was so good that it got stolen by Power World. So, you got to be good if people willing to steal it. So then we got where I'm kind of like unsure what to do with this one. All right, because I was never a big fan of Litten. All right, Litten was okay. It was clearly okay. I think its middle evolution was actually pretty good. I think it was pretty good. I think they were going in a good way. Yeah, but to be honest, screw him. I'm not gonna make him bad because there's no way you can actually make freaking there's no way you can say that Incineroar is bad. Because competitively, it's one of the best Pokemon in the game, which is why it's been in the top tiers of competitive for so long. I just don't like it. I just don't like Incineroar, bro. Like the idea, like it just didn't fit the region. Like why is this wrestler Pokemon dark fighting? Fire dark. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why is there a wrestler Pokemon in the Hawaii region? You know what I'm saying? Like he just didn't fit. Like he just didn't fit this at all. I just didn't like him. I couldn't say he was Dookie butter, but I can't exactly make him good either. And then like the Poplio tier, like yeah, Poplio is just give or take. Like it's not the best. Well, actually, wait a minute. I think Purifying Voice is actually a pretty good ability though. I'm gonna put that up there. So then Generation 8 came and it was trying to put things back on track. Alright, and I have to say, the whole like Rillaboom line, pretty good. Pretty good Pokemon. Rillaboom himself, pretty good Pokemon. I think he's kinda up there. Not above Charizard and Feraligatr. Well, not even really above Crobat. I think he goes right about there. Right about there. Pretty good. Pretty good Pokemon. It is a gorilla Pokemon, and he like plays music, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit too close to racism for me. But he's alright though. He's pretty good. Pretty good. Then of course Scorbunny. Scorbunny, solid line of Pokemon. The only reason why Scorbunny and the Scorbunny line doesn't get further is I have no earthly idea why Scorbunny is not a fighting type Pokemon. Like this is again, Incineroar probably should have been firefighting. All right, Scorbunny probably should have been firefighting, but they're not. The firefighting community would love to trade Emboar for either one of these two. Alright, because definitely that big barrel-chested bastard is big enough to be traded for both of them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's good. This is gonna make y'all mad, but I was never a fan of the Swabble line, bro. This is the first whole line of Pokemon that live in the Dookie Butter tier. Alright. I was never like Swabble looked cool as like the you know what? Swabble himself was okay. But the rest of that line, Dookie Butter, bro. I was like, ugh. Well, he's supposed to be a spy. I'm like, that don't work, bro. That doesn't work. Like he just looks like a weird skinny lizard. He doesn't scream starter type Pokemon evolution to me. Alright, like, you know. Alright, so then we get to Generation 9, aka one of the best generations. And if you don't agree, I'll fight you. Generation 9 was pretty good. The starters were actually pretty good. We were actually on our way up to the highs of Generation 4 after being in the valley for so long. You know what I'm saying? Sprigatito. it's alright. Sprigatito grew on me over the years. Now, if you watch my coverage of of Generation 9, I was not a Sprigatito fan. Alright, I kind of bullied y'all, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we made up. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Sprigatito was alright Pokemon. It kind of grew on me. You know what I'm saying? You know, it kind of grew on me over the years. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. You know, again, Middle Evolution's alright, and Masquerada is even okay. It's even okay. Alright, I'll let it go. It's pretty good. Alright. And same thing with Fuecoco. Yeah, Fuecoco is alright. You know what I'm saying? Fuecoco is okay. You know, it's not a bad type Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Then it gets weird. Like I honestly don't know where to put that thing. Like the egg on the head thing was. I thought Riddler Q was messing with us, but it turns out no. That the egg on the head thing was real. I was like, oh, okay. but they pulled it off in the end though, because he was good. It was pretty good. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty solid. I hate seeing this thing in competitive because like he's so freaking tanky and he's a ghost type. Ugh. But other than that though, pretty good Pokemon. And you all know where I stand on this man, okay? He was the leader of the starters in Generation 9. When the first trailer dropped, alright, the first trailer dropped, I was Team Quaxley, okay? Team Quaxley, Empoleon tier. I was Team Quaxley all the way. And then things got weird. Things got different. This bad boy is a box resident, like, eh. And then I'm sorry, bro. Over like my tastes have shifted. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do this. Even though I like playing him in game. Dookie Butter. Not remotely as Dookie Butter as the other Pokemon, but Dookie Butter. Alright, so Pikachu, I mean, you can't not like Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't like the Let's Go games, I don't think you can dislike Pikachu as a Pokemon, like, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pikachu is probably one of the coolest Pokemon. Not just because he's the mascot, which, I mean, one of the reasons why he is cool is he's the mascot, but just as a Pokemon in general, like, Pikachu is pretty good, you know. One of my most defining memories of Pokemon is that one time I found Pikachu in the Viridian Forest. All right, because, you know, Pikachu, you can technically catch Pikachu in Viridian Forest. You don't get it very often, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, man, I got a Pikachu, bro. You know what I'm saying? I remember that as a child, man. All right, my memory ain't that good for some things, but I remember catching Pikachu in Viridian Forest. It wasn't my first playthrough. I think it was like maybe my second playthrough. But I was like, yeah, okay. You know, he got smashed by Brock, but hey, it is what it is. Again, another Pokemon that you can't really dislike. You know, Eevee is fine. Eevee is definitely fine. I think everybody likes Eevee. Alright, so, Empoleon. Espeon and Umbreon. Espeon and Umbreon are fine. I mean, I never was a big fan of them as starter Pokemon, but, you know, I guess, you know what I'm saying, Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD, you know, they had to be like, oh, they had to be different, you know what I'm saying? They gotta be different. I kind of like Espeon. Espeon is fine. Umbreon is not one of my favorite Pokemon, so he's alright. Alright, so that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed that my camera died, so you can't see my face now, but I'm not gonna to postpone this video again, so it is what it is. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So tell me what you think in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Do you like my list? Do you like my tier list here? You know what I'm saying? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.